first of all, I can assume that we all are competitive coding enthusiasts, right? Gathered here to learn about every bit and byte of competitive programming. So, first of all, let me introduce our guest speaker, Nilesh Rani Bose, 2018 pass out. He is a data scientist at ShareChat, CodeChef 5-star rated, and this is supposed to be the highest from our college. He is ACM ICPC regionalist qualified also. And it's our pleasure to have him today as the guest speaker, and we are seeking forward to have more and more knowledge and his guidance today. So before proceeding to the session, I expect you all to mute your mics, pin my screen so that there is no disturbance while the session. So, and we would love to hear from you, but at Q&A round. And at last, till then, if you get any queries, just put it down there in our chat box. We'll try to discuss and resolve each and every question of yours. So moving forward, what is competitive programming? So competitive programming is like a mind sport. Like in a game of chess, in a game of chess or poker, you think about cards or your next moves. In CP, you think about programming. Programming along with algorithm implied is competitive programming. So like assume that you are given few problems to solve along with some time limit and memory limit, and you need to code an algo that is efficient, and as well as you have to implement it in given time limit. And the one who's fastest and solves the most problem wins the competitive round. So moving forward, we have how to begin with competitive programming.
How to begin with competitive programming. At the very beginning, to competitive programming, barely anyone knows the coding style to be followed. We have many questions in our mind. Which platform we must start the coding? Next is which language to choose. First of all, we must find a perfect platform. We have many online platforms available like HackerRank, CodeChef, LeetCode, HackerRed, CodeForces, etc. So the first thing we need to do, we must analyze ourselves, our skills, and our understanding of programming. And according to that, we must categorize ourselves in the category of beginner, intermediate, or a professional at coding. We must never be afraid to try different platforms. We must explore different platforms and choose the best which suits us. Also, the comfort zone must be found out by us. Comfort zone must be found out, and we must add the difficulty step by step, not adding them at a very high level because it will hamper our performance. Next comes language. Whenever we talk about programming language, that's a long list available for us, which includes C, C++, Java, Python. These all languages are common known to us. And whenever we try to code, we often think the language really matters. क्या हमें language choose करनी चाहिए या क्या हम C में code करें, क्या C++ में code करें, Java में code करें? तो the answer is no, it doesn't matter. हम किसी भी लैंग्वेज में हमारा कोड लिख सकते हैं. द थिंग इज दैट कि हमारा लॉजिक सही होना चाहिए और हमें उस प्रॉब्लम का प्रॉपर अंडरस्टैंडिंग होना चाहिए. जिसे हम काफी स्टेप्स फॉलो करते हैं कि हमें कुछ काम करना है, हम उसको स्टेप्स में ब्रेक करते हैं, उन स्टेप्स को फॉलो करते हैं, हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. वैसे ही whenever we solve a programming challenge, we write algorithms for the program. We write algorithms in the steps which will be performed in our programming. And a question arises, do same algorithm works with one language and fails for another one? क्या मैं कोई algorithm C में लिख रहा हूँ, वो Java में काम करेगा कि नहीं करेगा? तो the answer is कि जब तक आपका algorithm सही है, आपका algorithm की logic बिल्कुल सही है, वो हर language में उतनी efficiency से काम करेगा until and unless आप कोई syntax error या कोई human error जो programming का है वो नहीं करते. And the main thing is कि what brings out the difference between different competitive languages. जो प्रोग्रामिंग में जो डिफरेंस होता है वो मेनली ये होता है कि हमारी जो टाइम एफिशिएंसी है, टाइम लिमिट है और मेमोरी साइज, वो हम बराबर सेट करके रखें और हम उस क्वेश्चन को एक्यूरेटली सॉल्व करें. एंड आई वुड लाइक टू आस्क बॉस कि वो कौन सी लैंग्वेज प्रेफर करते थे अपनी कोडिंग में, और एक वो कॉमन रोड मैप बताएं जो एक बिगिनर फॉलो कर सकता है कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग के लिए. ओवर टू यू बॉस.
Hi guys. So Generally, most of the people at the top use C++, but some people also use Java. And so that's mainly because all the major data structures and algorithms that are used, let's say like binary search tree, right? You don't have to implement it yourself. It's already there in a library in that language. So I would generally say uh, try to go for C++ if you are serious about competitive programming. But in general, you can just go with any language. It's fine. But even Python is fine. And actually, it's like one of the good ways to learn a new language too, because you get to know all the syntax, right? Because you need all of it to solve a problem.
बॉस कैन यू प्लीज ऑल्सो गाइड अस फॉर अ रोड मैप कि क्या फॉलो करना चाहिए एक बिगिनर को कंप्यूटर प्रोग्रामिंग स्टार्ट करते हुए.
Okay. Um, so in the start, I would say get your basics clear first. I think. मतलब, try to solve some. Um, so it depends upon what you already know, right? So I would say that keep your fundamentals cleared first. Basic for loops, how a program is written, right? And maybe just solve some beginner level problems at the starting, right? Uh, I'm sure that even that is quite challenging at the start, but मतलब, uh, try doing that. So before going into serious competitive programming, I would say before that you should really take a algorithms course first, because you will feel overwhelmed if you just dive straight into like harder problems in Coursera or whatever platform you're using, right? Because there are a lot of prerequisites. So you might feel demotivated if you just start going at it, and you will hit a point where you don't know how to go forward. But the thing is, there are a lot of prerequisites, and it's mainly because of that you can't go ahead. So just take a basic algorithms course, which is very helpful in our college too, because in third sem we have a algorithms theory part, and also in seventh sem we get it again. So if you just do it once, you will also like sort of go through that syllabus of your college too. So besides that, there are also like other tutorials available on different websites. I would say there's Top Coder, which has a set of tutorials, especially on buying such a number. It was quite good. And then there's Code Monk, I think, and on Hacker Earth, and it lists down every topic one by one, and almost in the sorted order of difficulty. So that would be great too.
Thank you, boss, for your guidance. Next comes a very renowned thing in our computer engineering, that is data structure and algorithm. जब भी हम डीएसए की बात करते हैं, ये काफी क्रूशियल रोल प्ले करता है हमारी इंजीनियरिंग में. ये ना सिर्फ प्रोग्रामिंग में काम आता है, बल्कि ये इंटरव्यू के टाइम भी काफी कंपनीज पूछती है. तो डीएसए बेसिकली 3 पिलर्स पे होता है: टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी, स्पेस कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी एंड ऑप्टिमल सोल्यूशन. व्हाट इज टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी? The amount of time taken by our code to solve a particular problem is known as the time complexity of the code. Space complexity is the storage occupied by our code in the computer memory. Optimal solution is the best solution provided by us for a particular problem. Optimal solution has the least time complexity and the least space complexity along with the highest accuracy rate. So I would like to ask boss about the optimization of code. Means many people face इशू वाइल कंप्यूटर प्रोग्रामिंग कि उनका कोड रन करता है, उनका लॉजिक सही होता है, लेकिन उनकी स्पेस कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी, जो टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी होती है, वो उससे बीट हो जाते हैं और वो ऑप्टिमल सॉल्यूशन नहीं दे पाते हैं. तो आप इसके थोड़ा गाइड कीजिएगा डेटा स्ट्रक्चर एल्गोरिथम्स के थ्रू. थैंक यू बॉस.
Okay. So again, it comes down to basics, right? What I was saying just now, right? If you don't have already some understanding of the basics, some prerequisites, right? You will hit upon these points which you don't know how to go forward. So if you take a basics data structures ka course, you will understand what is time complexity, how to calculate it, right? So if you like, for example, if you just like do nested for loops, they multiply together and the time complexity just blows up. So for sure, if you don't already know about it, it's hard to understand what's going on. Um, I'm not sure this answers your questions though. A question though.
It was a good answer, but I would like to more ask you in detail. What about the optimization of the code so that we can reduce the time complexity of our particular program?
Okay. So optimization of the code. So it comes down to like you understand you have a solution in mind. So so there are like different types of problems. Something very basic is just known as cakewalk problems. So you have to do what is given in the question, right? So that are like usually your first question or the second question in a contest. So when you go above that, you have a solution which it works, but that would be called as a brute force solution, which just tries everything and just tries to find output the answer whichever is satisfied, right? So usually you need to optimize it somehow to do it in a better time velocity, to do it faster, right? So I would say there's no like secret formula to optimizing a solution. I would say that first you need to understand the time complexity, and then try to think what you would do if you have to solve that problem manually. I found that like usually as humans we are like great at optimizing ourselves. So we exploit certain patterns, right? So we don't need to look at everything that is possible. We already understand if this failed, this probably also fails. So try to think in that direction. There are like certain patterns in the questions too, which with practice you will just understand. If you have solved, let's say, 50 or 100 problems, you'll just get that if it's a sorted array, it's probably related to binary search, or you need to somehow exploit the structure in the input itself. So yeah, so there's no like straightforward answer that you just take this and it will be optimized, right? So that's the real talent in solving the questions.
Thank you, boss. It was so nice to hear. Next comes practice, practice, practice. There's an old saying that practice makes a man perfect. The same goes on with competitive programming. हमें ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करनी चाहिए ताकि हमारा लॉजिक बिल्डअप हो और हम अच्छी अंडरस्टैंडिंग डेवलप कर पाए अलग अलग तरह की प्रॉब्लम्स की. और उसके लिए हम ये भी कर सकते हैं, जो भी कॉन्टेस्ट होते हैं जैसे कोर्स है, काफ़ी कॉन्टेस्ट होते हैं, लंच टाइम, कुक ऑफ वगैरह, और काफ़ी दूसरे प्लेटफॉर्म पे जो कॉन्टेस्ट होते हैं हम उनमें रेगुलरली पार्टिसिपेट करते रहें ताकि हम नए नए प्रॉब्लम्स को देखें और नए नए प्रॉब्लम्स सॉल्व करने का तरीका ढूंढें. एंड द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज कि हमें पेशेंस रखना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं कि हमारा कोड चला नहीं, वी हैड अ फेलियर, तो हम छोड़ दें उसको, हम ट्राई नहीं करें, बल्कि हम उसको डीबग करना चाहिए, हमारे फ्लॉज ढूंढने चाहिए और उसको ऑप्टिमाइज करके और इम्प्रूव करके वापस एक बार चेक करना चाहिए कि अब कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा काम. एंड कॉपी एंड पेस्ट इज स्ट्रिक्टली नॉट अलाउड. काफी लोग होते हैं जो कॉपी पेस्ट करके अपना कोड चला लेते हैं और मन में खुश हो जाते हैं कि ठीक है हमारा कोड काम कर गया, हमने उसको चला दिया. लेकिन जब हम आगे कभी इंटरव्यू में बैठते हैं या फिर कभी हम कोई अच्छे कॉन्टेस्ट या कॉम्पिटिशन में पार्ट लेते हैं, फिर हम वहां पे डिफिकल्टी फेस करते हैं इसके चलते. एंड रेटिंग एंड रैंकिंग मैटर्स बट नॉट मोर देन लर्निंग. ये बिल्कुल सही है कि जैसे हम कभी भी किसी को जज करते हैं हम उसकी रेटिंग पे या रैंकिंग पे उसको जज करते हैं कि उसकी रैंकिंग अच्छी है तो वो काफी अच्छा होगा. लेकिन कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग में यूं ऐसा होता है कि जो आपको लर्निंग है, आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग ज्यादा मैटर करती है रैंकिंग से. क्योंकि अगर आप किसी इंटरव्यू में बैठे हैं या कोई कॉन्टेस्ट में है तो आप कितने अच्छे से उस प्रॉब्लम को समझ पा रहे हैं और उसको कितने एफिशिएंटली आप उसका सॉल्यूशन डिलीवर कर पा रहे हैं. नेक्स्ट इज, जैसे हमने काफी प्लेटफॉर्म के बारे में नाम सुना उसका कि हैकर रैंक, कोर्सेफ वगैरह है, वैसे एक प्लेटफॉर्म कोर्सेफ है, उसमें काफी वेरिएंट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स है फ्रॉम बिगिनर to the hard. And also boss is a Coursera 5-star coder and he has very vast experience of CodeChef, and there is also DSA learning series जो algorithms काफी अच्छे से explain करती है. So I would like to ask boss कि what were the coding platforms you used at your time, and what were the resources you utilized to learn DSA and other things?
Sure. I mostly would score chef at the start and hacker rank at that time. So when I was starting up, I think Hacker Earth was just very new, and Top Coder was still relevant. I don't think it's anymore. So regarding learning, so actually there weren't like too many resources at my time, but yeah. So the ones that I mentioned are Top Coder blogs on different topics, but it's specific to some certain topic, right? Let's say you want to look at dynamic programming, or you want to look at binary search, and so you can just go through that, and it will present you some beginner problems and then high level problems, and you'll get an understanding of what's there. Later on, there's the code. Hacker Earth also started CodeMonk, which I'm not 100% sure is still here or not, but it was also very organized, and it had like a lot of breadth. I think almost what all you need for, let's say, to solve most of the medium level questions here in CodeChef. So definitely more than what you need to solve an interview question. Yeah, I think those were the major things. Yeah. Besides that, there are also Codeforces blogs too. So it's actually like scattered everywhere on forums. So I think it's important that you don't get set on how do I start, but rather just start anywhere, right? So if you think about like what should I use, what should I not use, you will waste time just doing that. So it's important that you just start, and you will figure it out later that this is a better platform or not.
Thank
Okay,
you, boss.
Yeah.
right. रियल लाइफ एग्जांपल्स ऑफ कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग. जो CS एल्गोरिदम्स होती हैं उन्हें रियल लाइफ एग्जांपल से रिलेट करना बहुत ज़रूरी है, ताकि वी डोंट हैव अ हार्ड टाइम कोडिंग द सॉल्यूशन फॉर इट. एंड वैसे ही एक एग्जांपल हम देखेंगे. नेक्स्ट, लेट्स से वी हैव अ डिक्शनरी और लेट्स से फोन बुक, जहाँ पे सारे नेम्स जो हैं हमारे नेबर्स के एक पर्टिकुलर ऑर्डर में अरेंज होते हैं अल्फाबेटिकली फ्रॉम A to Z. तो वैसे ही एक फोन बुक है. नेक्स्ट, लेट्स से दिस इज द फोन बुक वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट. यहाँ पे सारे नाम एक पर्टिकुलर ऑर्डर में अरेंज हैं फ्रॉम A to B to C, एंड साथ में उनके फ़ोन नंबर हैं. एंड लेट्स से वी आर सर्चिंग फॉर जेम्स. सो बेसिकली फॉर दिस टाइप ऑफ प्रॉब्लम वी हैव टू सॉल्यूशंस और टू अप्रोच, आई मस्ट से. पहला तो ये हो सकता है कि आई ट्रेवल from the very beginning and from one page to the second to the third, मेरे को ऐसे करते करते जेम्स मिल जाएगा. और what we can do is जो conventional method है, जो हम लोग ज़्यादातर यूज़ भी करते हैं, we can start from the very between. Let's say if we are searching for James, we know it starts with J. We can start somewhere between E, and we know कि उससे पहले जितने भी pages हैं from A to E, they are not relevant to us. और उनमें हमें पता है कि जेम्स नहीं मिलेगा, तो वहाँ पे सर्च बहुत ही इरेलेवेंट है. एंड विल सी अ CS एग्जांपल फॉर दिस. नेक्स्ट, ओके, सो यू मस्ट बी फेमिलियर विद दिस. दिस इज एन एरे ऑफ इंटीजर्स, और उनके नीचे हमने उनके इंडिसेस लिखे हैं जो कि 0 से स्टार्ट होते हैं, बट फॉर बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग हमने 1 से लिए हैं. एंड लेट्स से वी वांट टू सर्च 45, whether 45 is present in this array or not. So what we can do is start from the very beginning. Let's say start from 1 and start searching whether we have 45 in this array or not. अब ये एक लीनियर सर्च कहते हैं, हम इसे, इस पूरे प्रोसेस को लीनियर सर्च कहते हैं. बट जो हमने अभी दूसरा मेथड देखा, द फोन बुक मेथड, उसके अकॉर्डिंग हम 6th इंडेक्स यानी राइट फ्रॉम द मिडल स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं. एंड वी कैन सी कि 6th इज द नंबर 17, and we are assured that 45 is bigger than 17. And so 45 would lie to the right side of the array and not to the left. और इसके अकॉर्डिंग हमने लेफ्ट साइड वाली सारी कॉम्पिटिशन्स बचा ली. एंड व्हाट वी कैन डू इज सिमिलरली ये रिकर्सिव प्रोसेस हम फॉलो कर सकते हैं. वी कैन रिकर्सिवली व्हाट वी कैन डू इज सेम ये पूरा प्रोसेस राइट साइड ऑफ द एरे हम फॉलो कर सकते हैं. और राइट साइड ऑफ द एरे मिडिल एलिमेंट होगा हमारा 30 एंड देन विल रीच टू 45 सिमिलरली. सो आप देख सकते हैं कि लीनियर सर्च में हमें 10 एलिमेंट्स को ट्रैवर्स करना पड़ रहा है. एंड यू नो इफ वी हैव लॉट ऑफ एलिमेंट्स, लेट्स से 10 raised power 20, in that case we if the worst scenario could be the element we are searching for is not present in the array, तो हमें पूरा array ट्रैवर्स करना पड़ेगा उसके लिए. और यहाँ पे हमने इस वाले प्रोसेस में जस्ट 3 एलिमेंट्स को ट्रैवर्स करके 45 को ढूंढ लिया. ओके नेक्स्ट. बट लेट्स से हमारे पास एक एरे है समथिंग लाइक दिस. वेरी डिफरेंट सिनेरियो, although the same array with the same number of elements. हम let's say वही phone book method दोबारा इसमें ट्राई करते हैं. let's say we want to search again 45. हम इसके मिडल में गए, we have 48, but we want to search for 45. So according to our algorithm 45 should lie to the left side of this array, right? But you know, as we can eyeball the whole array, we can see there's no 45 on the left side. And why is it so? Because it's not in a chronological order. Like हमने mention किया था phone book वाले method में, the way it works is हम बीच में से जाके उन सारे pages को discard इसलिए कर सकते हैं क्योंकि उनका एक chronological order है. हमें पता है वहाँ पे एक particular ordering है. But जैसा कि इस array में सारे elements randomly arranged हैं, इसलिए हम यहाँ पे वो method नहीं लगा सकते. Next. So basically जो ये मेथड है इसे हम बाइनरी सर्च कहते हैं. और अब आप इसका गीक्स फॉर गीक्स या फिर विकिपीडिया पे भी इसका आर्टिकल पढ़ सकते हैं. एंड इट वुड बी क्वाइट इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड बिकॉज हमने एक बहुत ही सिंपल एग्जांपल से इसे समझने की कोशिश की. बट इसका एक कैवियट जरूर है कि अनसॉर्टेड डेटा के लिए काम नहीं करता. ओके नेक्स्ट. या so importance of competitive programming. For this part we have specially curated some of the questions for Nilesh boss. So yeah, next slide. Okay, the first one is competitive programming really important? Like अगर मुझे कोई ऑफ कैंपस प्लेसमेंट चाहिए तो सही में मुझे कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग करनी चाहिए या उसके बगैर चल जाएगा? Yes boss.
Okay. Before we start with this, I would like to ask you how many people understood binary search all apart? I think we went through it a bit fast, so I'm not sure if everyone got it. It's actually quite interesting. If someone could just write yes or no in chat, that would give an idea. Okay, cool. A lot of yeses. Nice. Okay. Yeah, let's start with this. So is competitive programming really important? So when you talk about placements, right? So as a fresher, a company tries to judge you if you should get a job or not, right? So on what basis would they usually judge you? So you don't have any prior experience, right? You don't have any prior work experience, and it's not really fair to assume that you would have 5 years of experience or something, right? Because you just passed out. So they try to judge you based on your ability, let's say somehow in the sense of your mental ability, right? Or your problem solving skills. So almost all of the companies and all the top companies use an algorithm round as the first round to select you. So it's completely based on similar problems of competitive programming. So it's very, very important that you have a solid grasp on that. So if you want to get placed in a top company. So even in campus placements, there's usually a round just before the interviews. So they are like shortlisting rounds, right? So even in that, almost every company has a coding round. So if you perform good in that, so it's like very good chances that you will get an interview. And even even while offering a job offer, they look at the combined score, right? How will you perform in the first interview, in the first round, on the second round, and third round. So it would help a lot if you like distinguish yourself in that round. So I would say in my case, I remember in Skill Rock, I got like a lead of around, I think, 90 or 100 points just basis on those coding questions, and I was clearly the first in the rank list sheet just because of that. So look, it's very very important, I would say.
ओके सो मतलब कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग बेसिक लेवल पे तो आ जानी चाहिए.
Yeah, so okay, I didn't touch on this. So computer programming is a vast field, right? It's very very deep, and if you try to go for, let's say, Facebook Hacker Cup or Google Code Jam, right? And you want to be like in top 10 on those, so it's definitely not required for just giving interviews, right? So I would say, for an estimation, if you can get to Coursera 4-star, that's pretty decent to clear any interviews. But you would have to do some interview specific preparation, and after you get to that point, I would say, if you don't really enjoy computer programming that much, just leave it at that, and then try to focus on questions that are asked in the interviews, because in the interviews they don't really ask you questions about complex data structures. They want to judge your problem solving skills and some basic algorithms, because everyone takes those in college, right? So so they are mostly on like the basic things like binary search, or in graph at most they would go to BFS and DFS, and that's it. So but the question itself require more thinking instead of more algorithms, different data structures that you already should know. So I would say that is yeah. So don't go all out on computer programming if your purpose is just to get interviews.
Okay, boss. Second question is competitive programming versus development. तो ये तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा कंफ्यूजन रहता है कि एक बच्चा बोल रहा है कि मेरी सीपी अच्छी है बट मेरे प्रोजेक्ट्स वगैरह नहीं है उतने, या फिर दूसरा कह रहा है मैंने प्रोजेक्ट्स तो बनाए हैं बट मैं उतने कॉम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्रामिंग नहीं करता. तो बेसिकली इन दोनों के बीच में बैलेंस बनाना चाहिए, या इस कि ये वाला पार्ट ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है दूसरे वाले पार्ट से.
Yeah. So both are important, right? So it's not either or between them, right? Ki, is this good or this good? Both of them are good and both of them are important, right? So now what I just mentioned is ki first round in all the top companies would be an algo round. So you would need a basic level of competitive programming to get to that point. So there's this, you can say there's this threshold that you need to cross, right? So once you after that, then you can you have a leeway then how further you can go, how further you want to go, and how much you want to focus on development, right? So I would say at least get to some a stage where you can easily solve the interview questions, and then you can decide upon how much you want to focus on computer programming and how much you want to focus on development. And also in development, I would say it's way, so let's talk about internships, right? So internships are a way of like getting industry experience in your college, which is pretty good, I would say. So to get an internship, because we are not in IIT, right? So people usually want something else. Just if you just go and with a blank resume, right? No one would give you an internship. Some may, but yeah, it would be hard for you. So to get to that point, you need to have some projects developed, so people know that you can code, you can learn, right? So it's very important that you keep both of them, and not like मैं पहले ये करूँगा and then ये करूँगा. मतलब दोनों साथ में चलना चाहिए.
और एक बारी इंटरव्यू राउंड जैसे क्लियर हो जाता है तो उसके बाद आपके प्रोजेक्ट्स वगैरह पे भी मतलब प्रोजेक्ट्स वगैरह पे भी बात की जाती है उसके बारे में कि आपने ये वाला कैसे एग्जीक्यूट किया या ये वाली चीज़ कैसे
Sure.
बनाई.
Sure. So, मतलब जैसे मतलब everyone knows that you need to prepare a resume, hopefully, right? So in resume, they usually shortlist candidates based on resume, right? And then they judge you in the interview based on what you already know, right? And they just want to verify that what you have written is true or not. So they would ask you about your projects. So if yeah, so you can't just fake it, right? So you can write anything on a piece of paper. You also need to prove it.
ओके. और जो सबसे बड़ा मतलब लोगों के मन में सवाल है, हाउ टू क्रैक फैंग इंटरव्यूज, बिकॉज अभी तो जैसे प्लेसमेंट के टाइम पे वो नहीं आएंगी वैसी कंपनीज अब एटलीस्ट, तो ये सारे कंपनीज के लिए ऑफ कैंपस प्लेसमेंट ही होंगे. तो इनके इंटरव्यू में ऑब्वियसली आपके कॉलेज के भी होंगे और भी मतलब ऑल अराउंड इंडिया बहुत सारे कैंडिडेट्स होंगे. तो इनके लिए कैसे स्पेशल प्रिपरेशन करनी चाहिए?
th- there is no specific preparation required for them. I think so. They focus a lot more on competitive algorithms, right? So I think it's very very important that you're very good at competitive programming. मतलब, when I say very good, I don't mean कि you don't need to be, let's say, 2100 or course or whatever. You don't need to be that good, but you need to have a very decent computer programming experience and prepare a lot of interview questions, which you can find on Geeks for Geeks, Lead Code, and Interview Bit, right? Which you can look at like 2-3 months before the interview, which is fine. But it doesn't really change much between companies. I would say the what really changes is the interview process, right? So how much each company weighs certain rounds. So I would say a lot of smaller startups may not also take an algorithm round. So they might just look at your projects and just take a interview based on your knowledge. Let's say you're into web development, they will ask you questions regarding how does the server and client interact, and how would you solve certain cases, right? So that's also possible. But I would say in general, the interview preparation is sort of the same.
ओके. फैंग इंटरव्यू से फॉलो अप क्वेश्चन था कि काफ़ी लोग ऐसा भी सजेस्ट करते हैं कि यू शुड फर्स्ट स्टार्ट विद अ स्टार्टअप, gain a good experience of 1 year or 6 months, even do an internship there, and then you can apply for FANG. It would be better then.
हाँ, so the problem with FANG is कि they have a lot of applicants, right? A lot of people applying. So they don't have time to interview every one of them. So they use certain filters to maximize their output. So they usually focus on IITs, top IITs first, that it's more likely to get a candidate when you filter on those, right? So which is perfectly valid from a company's point of view, but not that good from our side, right? So so usually that's the major issue, getting through the screening round, right? So I would say you don't have to go through the route that you just mentioned, but if you can't get an interview for whatever reason directly, so then you can follow that route, which should greatly increase your chances to get an interview.
The last question, which is about your ICPC experience, like you went for regionalist round, like what sort of competition was there, like लोगों की कोडिंग किस हद तक अच्छी थी, एंड लाइक रीजनलिस्ट लेवल पे भी काफ़ी अच्छे अच्छे तरह के कोडर्स आ सकते हैं. और आपकी आपकी टीम के बारे में भी कुछ बताइए, जो आपकी टीम थी आईसीपीसी की.
Okay. Yeah, so ICPC is a competition. It's an Olympiad organized internationally, right? So So every country gets to represent it from it, and like every country gets a certain number of seats. India usually gets, let's say, 5 6 seats. So for deciding those 5 6 seats, there are regional rounds first, right? So in these regional rounds, they try to select the top teams and then send it to the world finals to represent our country, right? So in the regionals, you represent your college. It's based on college. So we represented our college twice once in 2016 17 and then 17 18 in my third and fourth year. So first one was in Amritapuri campus. Um, so I would say that we didn't really prepare specifically too much about ICBC there. Well, it was really a humbling experience, I would say. We got around, I think, 90ish rank. I don't remember exactly, around, I think, 150 or so participants. So, and like people at the top were really out of the league. Matlab, we were nowhere near. So we got to know कि मतलब what's the competition like. So yeah, it was really a humbling experience. And in the second time that we went, we were a bit more focused, but still, I won't say that we really specifically prepared too much for ICPC. We secured, I think, 30 something rank, 35 something, in that, which is fairly decent, but still not in top five, I would say. But it was still great. You get to travel, you get to interact with a lot of top minds, I would say, right? You get to meet a lot of people. You get to represent a college, and yeah, it's great.
ओके ये आईसीपीसी के बारे में ही काफ़ी ब्लॉग्स हैं जो ऑनलाइन हैं. उधर काफ़ियों ने लिखा है दैट यू शुड प्रिपेयर 6 months prior, even 1 year prior. Some say they have curated their body cycle, body clock according to the timing of the ICPC.
Sure.
So they are going so much hard for it. So how much do you agree for that? ये सिर्फ इतना ज़्यादा मतलब अपने आप को ICPC की तरफ ही लीन करना कैसा रहेगा?
So there are two questions there really. That should you focus so much on ICPC, and the second one is, should you go all out, like go for 1 year and then follow those strict routines, right? So I think the first one, you should really only do it if you enjoy it. I would say ICPC. So at the start, you would feel quite. So when you just start computer programming, you would feel like it's quite hard, right? So at the start, I would say force yourself to get to a decent place, so that it will also help you in your interviews, right? So you anyways have to do it now or after 1 year or whatever. So it's better that you just start right now, and then if you start to enjoy it, I personally, like, a lot of people get a sense of a dopamine hit, you can say, when they see a green tick on the solution, right? They just solve a question that was quite hard. They were like trying really hard to solve it. So you might really get a kick out of it. So just try it, and if you really like it, so go for it. I wouldn't say कि मतलब you should all go for ICPC regardless, मतलब if you're interested or not. So the second part is, मतलब, it depends on how high rank you are targeting, right? So if you want to go to the world finals, I would say you would require at least 1 year of preparation, not necessarily as a team, but in general, you should get to, I think, at least 6 7 star on Coursera to be at that place. So yeah, that would require a lot of effort. It really depends. Even in your IITs, right? Some people work harder than others. So it's similar here.
Okay, right. Thank you, boss.
Hmm.
Yes, sure, you can take over.
So that's it. We had a great brief regarding the introduction of competitive programming, and now it's time for most awaited part of our webinar, that is the interaction with our guest speaker Nilesh Rani Boss. So now we'll go through your queries in chat box, and we'll let you unmute your mic and carry on with your query. And for that, I would like to request you to pin Nilesh Boss's screen for further queries.
Yeah. So for this QA round, what we can do is I will select one each question from the chat, and जिसका question है he can unmute himself, and then after boss का answer, like he can also throw a follow up question and all. Okay. So the first question is from Harsh Gupta. Why is CPP better than C?
Okay, so it's mainly because of the inbuilt libraries. So to give you a perspective, I started with C because I thought the same thing. But when you need to implement binary search yourself, or when you need to implement a binary search tree or a hash map yourself, it gets like too verbose, right? So if you already have a library which you can just use, so it's definitely better.
Okay. Harsh, if you have any follow up question, you can ask, or we can move to next question. Yeah, okay. So Gagandeep asks, what is the best time to start CP? कौन सी year में करनी चाहिए? Yeah, so boss, आपने कौन सी year में की थी, and what is the right time, or is there any right time?
Um, so I started in second year, I think, in third semester. So that's when I got to know that it exists, right? I was really drawn to it, so I started. I, so okay, let me say. So you already know that it's the first round in your algo round as the first round in your interviews, right? So you need to prepare for it now or in your fourth year. So I would say, and in the third year, you also have this DSA course, which is part of your syllabus. So I would say just do it in third sem itself. And if it's if you want to start after that, that's also fine. But there's no point in waiting, I would say. But yeah, you don't really need to do it for, let's say, 2 or 3 years, so that you need to start in second year. It's perfectly fine with even, let's say, 6 months or even shorter, 2 3 months might also be fine, but don't wait for it, right? uh, you need to anyways do it later.
Yeah, so like it is never late to start, right?
That should not be a takeaway. But you start as early also, but it's fine if you haven't started just yet. Yeah, well, you can get away with shorter amount of time too, but yeah, that should not be your goal. Key, I would start just 2 months before the interviews.
Okay. So Anshul asks, boss, any course you prefer for DSA?
I personally did design and analysis of algorithms by Stanford University on Coursera. There was a professor called Tim Rufkardan, I'll say. I think it was a very decent course. Yeah. Okay, so one thing that I also want to mention is that interviews and competitive programming differ a little bit. So in competitive programming, you don't have to know the theory really, right? Knowing a concept that this works in login, you don't know how it works in order login, right? So but in interviews you might get asked about that, and even in your theory question exam you would get asked about that. So when you prepare in competitive programming, make sure that you also have an understanding of the basic concepts, because that would be required in interviews too.
Okay. Rupali asks, what is the weightage of CP and development in the industry field? Like, कितना CP आप अभी भी यूज करते हो, like when you are working in job?
In industry, it's almost nil, I would say. Matlab, no one really uses computer programming directly. So there's certain things which are very, very important. So the major one is time complexity, right? So you need to understand how it works. So when writing code, you need to account for time complexity, but there are really any problems that would require a solution based the on the likes of like a Koshev question or Four Forces question. You might get something like you have a stream of data coming and you want to maintain a mean. Let's say you have to use a heap to optimize something, but it's fairly simple usually. In industry, it's mostly about practice. So like I said, is the companies don't have a choice to judge you, right? As a fresher, you don't have any prior experience, so it's just a way to gauge your mental ability and your learning skills, right? So they use it as a proxy, not really because it's used in the industry.
Yeah. So Rupali has another question. So Rupali, if you want to ask some questions yourself, you can unmute and ask. Or okay, I will read it then. Uh, the second question is, how much time did you devote to CP when you are a beginner? When you were a beginner.
Um, it's it depends upon you, I would say. So I can tell you my personal experience. So in the start, I just started with the long challenges in Coursera. Okay, so you have 10 days worth of time to solve whatever. I think there are 9 or 10 questions at that time, right? So just you have 10 days to just and you can search for a solution. It's completely legal to search for anything as long as you don't search for that specific question. You can search for any concept, right? So in those 10 days, I would spend a lot of the time just searching on the internet, just brainstorming on a piece of paper, right? And that was the really motivating factor, not the motivate, so the major factor that led to my improvement. So I think I think more than average 10 hours a day, or let's say I think around 100 hours in a concert contest itself, which I can't even fathom right now, right? So, but I really enjoyed it and I really liked it, and yeah, it was great. So I would say focus on, you can start with a long contest and then try to solve a question.
Okay, got it. So next question is from Priyanshi, and yeah, it's an interesting question. So has it happened to you that during the contest you are focused on the result rather than the problem? That is, you are checking ranks continuously rather than focusing on problems. So which led to your lower ranks. So this is case of short challenge शायद जहाँ time matter करता हो.
Okay. Yeah, so in shorter challenge, I think I did it once at the start and then I realized that. So usually in those shorter challenges, the solve also the time that you solve the question matters a lot, right? So it affects the ranking itself instead of just how many questions did you solve. So even if you just spend like 5 minutes in between doing something else, you might lose on ranks. So yeah, it definitely happens. And even in general, right? When I started, Koshab didn't have a ranking system at that place. It was just a global rank list. So you didn't really have a very good way to track your performance. So I would say that it was actually better that way, because it didn't really matter to me that I got solved 2 questions or 4 questions or 6 questions, as long as I'm satisfied with the performance, right? So because later on you might think like my rating will drop if I can't solve this question, right? So I won't even take part in the contest or something like that. So yeah, it's important that you focus on learning, which I think you mentioned in the slides too.
Yeah. So Pankaj asked, which website or YouTube channel is better for competitive programming learning? Is there any recommendations from your side, something specific?
Um, for competitive programming, I don't think I followed one YouTube channel that much. I think a lot of channels started recently. So I think I remember Gaurav Sen's channel, which was quite decent. But a lot of new ones have also come up. So I'm not really sure which YouTube channels you should focus on. But yeah, so in the start you don't even need a YouTube channel because uh, to learn, because the first three questions don't have any uh, let's say prerequisites which you need to learn or which are very advanced. So just understand the basic theory like binary search and stuff, and then just first try to break through that barrier, get to 3 or 4 questions solved. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next question is from Priyanka, and she asked, how much time does it take to gain a decent experience in competitive programming?
So it of course depends person to person, right? Not everyone is the same. So, but I would say that uh, even in 2 3 months you could get quite good. But usually people would take more than 6 months, I would say, to get decent. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got disconnected for a while. Uh, so the next question is,
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Amit, you are not audible.
Boss, the next question is how to approach ShareChat or any other company for an internship or full-time offer. What is the level of DSC that you will ask for? Asked by Ashutosh Mangal.
Okay. Uh, yeah. So to approach them, right? So you need to look out for any competitions that they are running, right? So that's the that's one way to get in. Second way is through LinkedIn. Just try to contact a recruiter, talent acquisition person in that company, and then just write a short letter about what you have done, why do you think you would be a good fit, and along with your resume of course, and then just yeah apply for like say 100 places, and uh, uh, at least 10 would get back, I would say. Yeah.
Interesting to know that, boss. And we have many queries regarding. Many of them are asking which is the best coding platform or competitive platform for beginners, or any specific platform you would like to suggest for a beginner to start competitive coding, and any prerequisite for competitive programming.
uh, yeah, so platform doesn't matter too much. uh, you can start anywhere. So for competitions, I would say I would suggest that in the start you go for long contests, and while practicing you can use any platform. It's fine. I think whichever is more organized right now it might be good. So I think also remember this in this certification program by Coursera, they have preferred a syllabus, right? And they also mentioned a lot of problems in certain order which you should approach. So that's also a great place to just start. Yeah.
Great to know that, boss. And another question: does learning competitive programming help you in the development of apps? Asked by Priyanka Chaudhary.
Um, yes, so very, very little. It's not that. So, what computer programming at the start teaches you is general coding, right? How to. So, let's say you want to build something, you know the logic behind it, you have some idea of it, right? And to actually implement it in your code, uh, it gets you a very decent practice in that. So, but to really, you won't be applying uh, algorithms in your app development, but you would get a hang of how to implement what you really want to. And if you have any performance related issues, right, you might optimize, you might know that binary search is better than linear search. So there are certain cases that it might help, but very little in that. So it it only helps you get a hang of coding, I would say, in that context.
The next question is, if anyone apply through a referral or an off-campus drive in a big company, does that make any difference or not? The reference.
Reference surely like matter a lot. Yeah. So I can tell you technically how it works. So, from a point of the HR department, the human resources department in the company, right? So they have different sources through which people apply through. So, like I said before, they usually filter by college, right? So, like that, they also maintain the general ratio of conversions. Ki when person applied through this process, this many people got through actually. So referrals have a higher conversion in general. So that's why they also prefer uh, 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 taking people through higher referrals too. So it's definitely a lot.
Thank you, boss. And I would like to ask one question from you. That key, if we want to prepare for higher studies or MS somewhere, does competitive programming or our ranking at the Coursera platform as a as you have said that ACP ICPC is an international level program,
Mhm.
so the ranking at that matters for higher studies abroad.
Um, it can, but not really. Matlab, unless you're very, very good, you're at the very top, I would say not really. It can look good on your SOP for sure, it's the statement of purpose when you apply. So it definitely has some role, but not really. I I think it's, but in college, before college, there's this IOI, which is for students, just like ICPC, but for students. So there, if you get a gold medal, you can get to MIT. So a lot of people have gone to MIT through that. But I would say if you want to go through this route, it's very, very long shot. Yeah, it's definitely possible, but not practical, I would say.
Thank you, boss. Another one question from Himanshu Agarwal. If anyone have good knowledge in technologies and doesn't have in computer programming, so how he can get a better job or how these technologies will help him to reach his goal?
Sorry, can you repeat it again?
Yes, boss. Himanshu asked if anyone has good knowledge in technology and doesn't have in competitive programming,
Mhm.
how can he get a better job and how will the technologies help him reach his goal?
Okay, not sure I completely understood the question. So, uh, okay. So, like I said before, competitive programming, a certain level of competitive programming is required, whether you like it or not. Every company takes an interview based on that. So, you need to have some understanding. So, regardless, and regarding your knowledge on your technology, it definitely matters a lot. But usually in your second round or your third round, right? So when they ask you about the projects or in general, what do you know, what you don't know. So it matters, but uh, uh, it can be differentiating factor between you and someone else for sure. Uh, does that answer your question?
Yes, boss. Himanshu, do you have any follow-up question? If you have any, you can please unmute yourself and ask boss.
Okay.
Okay, clear to Himanshu. We would appreciate queries from anyone else. We have another query. Is HackerRank good for beginners?
Yeah, yes, it is. I think specifically for it has a lot of organized questions, right? Uh, at the start, I remember solving them, a lot of them, in the implementation one, the strengths one, I think. So it definitely helped me a lot at the start. Uh, but yeah, I don't think it's very good for like if you wanna go for high rating. But at the start, it's very very helpful, I would say.
Thank you, boss. If anyone
Yeah.
has any other doubts, please respond in the chat box.
या सो इस सेशन के पहले हमने एक गूगल फॉर्म सर्कुलेट किया था एंड हमने लोगों से क्वेरीज भी ली थी सो हमने वी कंपाइल्ड अ बंच ऑफ क्वेश्चंस मोस्टली हो चुके हैं बट वन फ्रॉम माय साइड इज बॉस टैब्स और स्पेसेस
Use anything as long as you are consistent. No, only use one. Don't mix them.
Yeah. And another question was like, how do you approach a CP problem? Like, how do you like reading the problem? कितना time लगता है? Like, what should be the approach?
I haven't really thought about it. Okay. So how you? Yeah, I would say that it's very. So it depends what you want to achieve. So like very very top performers actually have certain techniques to detect the question without even reading the question itself. But if we ignore that part, right? I would say that you should spend a good amount of time understanding the question itself. Don't have any kind of assumptions which you make. Make sure like all the things that you assume are mentioned in the question itself, and yeah. So then get to the brainstorming part, and yeah, one thing that would help me was thinking about if I had to do this manually by myself. So what approach would I have taken? That might help you, but it's actually a lot about practice too. And so if you have already solved one kind of question, you get a hang of it, and you can solve next few questions. So it definitely requires a lot of practice.
Yeah. So एक student का question आया था and that was like how to not let the graph flatten. वो code forces कर रहा है काफी time से like 2-3 months and every time he can like solve one question and not move forward. Second question he can solve like after the contest and not move further and the curve has like flattened. So how to avoid that saturation?
Okay. So upsolving is definitely a thing that you should look at. So when you solve n number of questions, always solve the n+1 question by looking at the editorial itself, right? So and then understand why you weren't able to solve it. So usually it's because it was because of a concept that you didn't know, or you couldn't think of a solution, the time duration, or and sometimes it just misses you. You don't know like why couldn't you solve it? So but as you solve more and more questions, the third case would get lesser and lesser, and it's usually because of some kind of a prerequisite, right? So yeah, that's why I said it is better to um, go through some organized set of questions, or rather preparatory material, which you can look at in the certification syllabus, or maybe in core mock that is suggested in HackerEarth. And that should give you a sense, that should give you all the basics needed for the first few questions, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, there's a question in the chat box, and it is: does college percentage matters when we apply off campus?
Very rarely, I would say, unless it's quite less. You don't actually have to mention it compulsorily. So as long as you pass out, right? You can omit it. But there's no set guidelines that you need to mention it, except in campus placements, I would say. And off campus, there are no strict guidelines that you need to follow this, and this. So I would say it doesn't really matter that much.
Okay. So what we can do is अब audience में किसी को कोई specific query है कुछ पूछना है, so they can like directly unmute themselves and ask.
ओके तो जो फॉर्म था लाइक वी हैड अ फॉर्म तो उसमें ऑलमोस्ट 67.4% ऑफ द पीपल हैव नेवर पार्टिसिपेटेड इन एनी ऑफ द कंपटीशन ऑनलाइन so what would be your suggestion to such students who have never ever participated? How should they start with that?
Okay, I think we addressed this multiple times already. So get your foundations right, and then try to solve some beginner level questions, and then eventually move forward. And don't spend too much time thinking about how should I start. Rather just start, and then eventually you will figure it out. And I'm sure like if everyone is starting together, right, they can help each other out. They can brainstorm. Yeah, sure.
So thank you. Thank you so much for being very interactive and wonderful audience. Special thanks to Nilesh boss for taking out time for us and guiding us for the best. We'll try our level
Sure.
best to implement your advices on our programming skills. Is someone speaking right now? So we have an announcement for you all that soon we'll be coming up with a coding contest for you all, and we are expecting each one of you to be part of it. And we hope that we would have enjoyed today. You would have enjoyed today, and we'll meet soon. Till then, eat, sleep, code, repeat. Happy coding.